Folks, the world is a dangerous place. Are you serious? We're talking nuclear weapons on the tips of cruise missiles on German submarines controlled by the Israeli government. Now, you might say, well, Paul, we pretty well knew that anyway. No, we really didn't know that, but we have a confirmation now. Stephen of Oklahoma got this to me, and I've had some other research done on it. In Yahoo News, there's an article right now that Israel is fitting nuclear arms on German-supplied submarines. Israel is arming the submarines supplied and largely financed by Germany with nuclear-tipped cruise missiles. Influential German news agency Der Spiegel reports in its issue to be published today, June the 4th, 2012. The magazine said in a cover story that Berlin had until now denied any knowledge that the German submarines were being used as part of an Israeli atomic arsenal. But former high-ranking officials of the German Defense Ministry told Der Spiegel that the government always assumes Israel was putting nuclear warheads on the Dolphin-class vessels. This article, based on months of a long probe, cited files from the foreign ministry in Berlin indicating that West German state was aware of the practice as early as 1961. That's the year I was born. I mean, it's been going on a long time. We're talking all the way through the Cold War. What? What? Are you serious? Are you serious? In other words, Germany has been working hand in hand with Israel, supplying them with the technology and the Dolphin-class submarines since 1961, and always assumed that Israel was putting nuclear warheads on the tips of those cruise missiles. Well, Israel's confirmed they are, and Germany is confirming that they know it now, basically. You might say, okay, so what's the big deal? There's so many nukes floating around. Well, you have to understand, having a nuclear weapon is one thing. Being able to execute it precisely is a whole different thing. You just go ask the North Koreans, who are struggling to get their rocket off the ground. There's a lot of old technology being sold underhandedly on the black market among spies and rogue outfits and organizations that, yes, may give a nation some technology, but not necessarily the capability to utilize what they have. It's like giving somebody a bow and arrow when you have a high-powered rifle with a scope. So you go ahead and give them the bow and arrow. Yes, it's a bow and arrow. Yes, it can kill people. No, it can't compete with the high-powered rifle with a scope. So it's what's going on in the world right now. Money's changing hands, corruption, weapons are being tossed around, lives are being lost. I'm going to give you an example. Yahoo News reported this yesterday. This is one of the most sickest results I've ever seen by President Assad of Syria. Can I just read it? Because I don't want to get my blood boiling. I don't want to get frustrated. I'm going to get a cup of coffee right now. I want to talk about my books, okay? I got the Hosea Prophecy book. I got the Texas Blood Lake. Both of them are available now at my website at paulbegleyprophecy.com. That's www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. I want to talk about some positive things like rainbows being seen in the sky, and children singing, and 5 people getting saved last night on our radio show called The Coming Apocalypse on Sunday night. We call it Sunday Night Live. I want to talk about today's show on at my website today from 12 noon to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Listen to all of the important current world news events, how it relates to Bible prophecy and the Word of God. It's a 3-hour show. It's Monday through Friday, 12 noon to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can see it on Blog TV. You can see it on livestream.com. Or make it easy for yourself. Just go to my website, paulbegleyprophecy.com. I want to talk about these things. I don't want to talk about how many people Assad is killing. I don't want to talk about the president's kill list and who's on the kill team. There's a team of 7 who determines who should be targeted for assassinations. The president of the United States holds the ultimate veto power. And I got this information from Doug Hagman. Had a long, lengthy conversation with him on Friday. He was troubled by information he's received deep within the bowels of the Homeland Security of the United States government. He shared some very, very pertinent information, of which I'm not going to reveal. But I will say this. He was disturbed and losing sleep, wringing his hands over some of the very critical information that he's learned. There is some disturbing information with these drones that the government has, the United States government has, that they can launch out in this nation and could be used, if need to eliminate enemies of the state, a threat to national security. Who determines who's a threat to national security and who's not? Well, Paul, I mean, that's the question. I could talk about that. You know what? I will today on my show. I'm going to tell you who's on the 7-man team. I actually have the names of the 6 people out of 7. I don't have the 7th person. But I have the list. I have the names of the 6 out of 7 people who are on the president's kill team. And we're going to talk about that today on my show, which comes at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. Okay? Syrian President Assad said Sunday, which was yesterday, June 3rd, 2012, that despite the deep suspicion from the United Nations, the Syrian government had nothing to do with the massacre of 108 people, 49 children, 34 women, the rest men, all civilians. Assad says despite the United Nations highly suspecting us, despite the fact that the nation, the people, the population of Syria wants this guy out of power. They're sick and tired of the Assads. Bashar Assad's daddy ruled Syria with a rod of iron for 30-some years. And now he's been in charge for 12. And there's 11,000 dead bodies. Blood in the streets of Syria, in Damascus. The Bible said in Isaiah 17:1, the burden of Damascus, behold, Damascus is no longer a city but a ruinous heap. Jeremiah prophesied it in the 49th chapter when he said in verse 23 through 27 that the young men will be fallen in the streets. The city will be gripped in fear, anguish, and travail. The city will no longer function. That's exactly what's going on in Damascus. And yet this guy right here says he has nothing, it's not his fault. He has nothing to do with it. What? You're the one sitting in the tanks, Assad. It's your soldiers. It's your government. You're in charge. You guys have been in charge. You're running down there. You're murdering. You're shooting them. You're massacring. Listen, folks, we're not talking about 2 armies fighting. We're talking about Assad's military taking tanks, driving right into residential areas, using bazookas and artillery and launching missiles right into apartment complexes, heavily populated civilians. What are you talking about? It's not your fault. What are you saying? It's not you. This article's on Yahoo News. I don't own the rights to that picture right there, of that man right there. But I'm tired of the murder. I'm tired of the mayhem. I'm tired of the massacre. I'm tired of the meanness and mutilation and the man. But it's Bible prophecy. It's coming to pass. The world's getting wicked. Are you saved? Please give your life to Jesus Christ. He's coming soon.